Hello and welcome back to Comp 1. We are now ready to start Module 1. We are watching this video in the week 1, but under the week 1, yeah, I'll just have it in there so it's easier to see. But real quick, I'll go over the module outcomes. So we are learning about college level writing, learning to explore what's called the threshold concepts, which I think is good to look at. Starting to learn about personal genre narrative. We will be able to understand and describe the personal genre narrative, read and analyze examples of personal narratives, discuss those elements, and then use the writing process to decide a topic. We'll describe a picture, conduct an interview, draft a personal narrative, participate in the peer review, and create a final draft. Reflect on that draft because the personal narrative, yeah, here we are. I'm sorry, I should have gone over this. The personal narrative is a photo description, and you can read along with this. So you're going to select a photograph of yourself from any time in your life. Be a baby photo, could be, last week's selfie or whatever. You're going to describe the photo, reflect on what it shows about who you are, and then interview someone about what they think about you and your interpretation. So examples might be your first day of high school photo. Describe the photo, explain what you think the picture reveals about who you are or what your personality is, and interview a close friend or your parent, but a close friend about what they thought of you when they first met you in high school, or a parent, what were they thinking, right? Photograph of you as a baby being held by your parents. You're going to describe the photo, then discuss your relationship with your grandparents, how they shaped you and were part of your life. Interview your grandparents, or if they're not living, someone else, like your parents, and learn, or a sibling or an aunt, great aunt and uncle, and learn more about your childhood relationship. You can do a picture, right? Similar things, talk about that trip. The goal is to learn about how other people see things versus how you see things. How do you see yourself compared to how others see you? How do you remember experiences versus how other people remember them? Um, these are just for examples. So there's a yearbook photo. How might it present an impression? Like people see this photo, they might think I'm this, this, and this. But in reality, here's what I'm really like. So and so, my best friend of 15 years or whatever, um, describes me like this, and then have that included. So your photo, your essay is going to require the copy of the photo in there. So you need to be able to scan it in, or you can just not take a picture of it and drop it in. But you'll have MLA header, title, copy of the photo, introduction, thesis, or main claim, description, interview, reflection, and conclusion. Is about 200 words long. So those are those big things about the paper. And yeah, week 1 assignments now. Sorry. So that's where we're going. And I know this is really small to see, but obviously we've already gone over the syllabus. We're going to have a lesson on the writing, discussion board with some Q&A, threshold concepts, which I think is a good lesson about writing to help us think about what writing is and what it does. We'll be reading through chapter 1. There'll be discussion board on chapter 1. That'll be due Friday, and then you'll be required to respond to one other person by Sunday night, right? So that is due by Friday. So you want to get that done. I know it's a lot to do in 1 week. And then I've talked about the SARC notes and I didn't close out my parentheses, but that's all right. Um, so going through everything, just go through in order. We're doing an introduce yourself slideshow. All you need to do is make a slide, talk about yourself. What do you like to do? Do you like to read and write? What are your goals for this class? And anything else you'd like us to know? I gave you an example and I talked about what I did, but didn't talk about my reading and writing. So I'll add that in there. And it's a shared document. So please only edit your own slide. You do not need to include a picture of yourself, but it's helpful so I can kind of see who you are. But some people don't want to have pictures, so you can have a picture of a pet. Or I had one student do a crappy drawing of herself on the computer, like not by hand, but like just had like word art or whatever it was. So that's perfectly all right. Then we have a Q&A discussion that's going to be due Wednesday. Oh, here it is. I didn't realize you had to do a separate click to get to it, so that's annoying. I'm sorry. Anyway, so now you spent some time learning about this course and what I expect of you. Please take some time to do the following. What are your expectations from me, your instructor? What do you want or hope to get out of this class besides a good grade? And what concerns and questions do you have? Then send me an email. Um, so that's my email address with two things. What is something you think I should know about you? I guess you should have an introduction. So tell me who you are and what class you're in. And then something you think I should know about you. It could be like, hey, I really like jelly beans, or I struggle with ADHD, right? Anything's fine, right? Just something you might want to tell me that you think I should know. It doesn't have to be anything big, but it could be, right? Because some of us have big things and some of us have small things. Um, and it's not really my job to decide what's big or small, because what's small to me might be big to you, right? It's perfectly all right. And then tell me a joke or riddle. I always like that. Usually I used to say something that should be told to my kids, but keep it clean, right? Because I mean, this is going through campus email, right? So they have like detectors and things. So anyway, do that. I'll revise that instruction rule in a minute. I do have a link to Office 365. This is kind of also a test to make sure you can get into Office 365 where you have access to your email. And it's really stupid because you get Copilot first. But go up here to the apps and more. And then you can go to Outlook, and that's where you'll get your email. You can also have your Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all this stuff. And you would have had to done this in order to get into the Introduce Yourself slideshow. It's your username, first initial, last name. If you have a number after your last name, that's fine. And then your password. We have a link to chapter one, followed by a video lesson on chapter one. So just kind of skim through chapter one, and then I talk about what I think is important. And then discussion on threshold concepts. So in here, there's a lot of things. You are only responsible for the lesson. Everything else is just optional. So please only watch the video. Um, then there's a discussion board on you and writing. You can really do this any time. This is due by yeah, this is due by Friday. A response to one other person by Sunday. So just some questions about what do you think about writing, and then you can respond to somebody. Don't be generic and say, I too don't like writing. Good post. That's stupid. Nobody wants to read that. I'll say stupid. It's not helpful, right? It's not real agreement or whatever, but be a little personal. Right. It's only one. And then that's it. Yeah, so that's the week. Then we have week two. I'll get stuff posted for that, and you can start getting prepared. We have a reading of BAM, and then the textbook, and I don't have the discussion boards set for due dates yet. No, that's due Tuesday, so that's not Tuesday because that's when my class is. So a lot of these default dates are Tuesday and Thursday, but I'll be changing them. Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. If something says Tuesday, please contact me because I did not get it changed. Trying to manage a lot of different courses and trying to save myself work, but it doesn't always happen. So these due dates will change. So don't worry about those. Anyway, that is where we are. If you have questions, please contact me either through this little linky link over here or through my email. Um, I'll see if I can fix this to make this better for you to contact me, but I don't think it'll allow that because it's very limited. Otherwise, have a great week. I look forward to getting to know you, hearing from you, reading your jokes, and hopefully this will be uh, your least painful course, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Maybe I want it to be pain. No, I don't want it to be painful for you. But anyway, have a great week.